All right, people. So, um, yeah, all sorts, right? This is who is it by? It's the new film from J. Rich Castaneda, right? He wrote and directed the piece. Um, oh man, who else worked on this one? Boy, it's got a big cast. I mean, there's a lot of extras and all of that kind of thing going on, which is understandable, you know what I mean? But yeah, it is produced by Laura Rich or Reich, Omar Kenawi, um, and Sophie Gutierrez Perez co-produced. All right. Asa Tate is an executive producer on it. Um, you have Nick Jana doing the music, right? David Carstens handles the cinematography. Um, you've got Arta Marie Powers and Gabriel Louise Powers handling production design. Uh Miri Wabasari handles direction. Carol Matthews, she's makeup, right? And our cast. Our cast. Well, yeah, let's try and find an order to this. Because yeah, I mean, it's a small cast, but a big cast. You know what I mean? Like the main peoples, there's a few, but then just everyone else involved in the piece, right? So we have, uh, God damn, Ay, allergies, people, allergies. Ellie Vargas is Diego, Grenna Park. I think that's how you say it. Is June. Louise Davis is Vasquez, the boss. Mike Markov is Jason. We have got um, Michael Ardile is the scorekeeper's assistant. Um, man, there are some other people. Dwayne Bartholomew is the ring announcer. Adam Boyer, he works in the office. Ben Bula is Randy. Clayton Boozy is Albert. Um, uh, I mean, I think that's probably, you know, Michaela Serrana. She works in the office. Stephen Sereno is Gary. Donald Daly is Ed. Christopher Duggar is Hans. Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people off in the face, and Angel Garcia is Vic. You know, I think that's probably All right, Heidi Hain Spidell is Lady Evelyn. Yeah, that's our kind of our main crew. Apologies, people. Ah, fuck. Okay, so the gist of the film. Okay, well, it is a little something like this, right? So let's try and do. All right. Okay. So Diego is desperate for a job, for excitement, for love. When he gets hired to work by Vasquez, the absurd boss who loves data but can't type, Diego finds himself in the strange land of Data-Mart. There he meets June, an incredibly fast filer. And as the two make their way into the secret world of underground filing, things will never be the same again. Diego agrees to be her coach and manager, and as June rises up through the underground filing ranks, the two begin to fall for each other. But do they really have a shot, or are they just fooling themselves? Bum, bum, bum. So yeah, there you go. That I mean that's the gist of it, people. That is the gist. And it's an you know what I mean? I think it's an interesting piece, right? Because I will say, on all I yeah, I've did enjoy this film, right? It's odd. It's odd. There's like, I think from the title, you think all sorts. Hmm. What what does that kind of throw up to you? I mean, you kind of think it's like, does it take all sorts? Is that what it's saying? Because I don't know, on paper, you kind of think Diego and June, like you might not put them together, right? So is it that? But then I think with the film and the whole filing thing, so sorting things, filing, that probably is it. Who knows? But yeah, you try and get a gauge of it from that, and you can't, right? So you're watching a film, and it's quirky to say the least, right? Quirky to say the least, you know. Like Diego, as I said, look, he's looking for a job. He goes, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I can type." What is it? Like, oh, man. I say 50 words a minute, something like that, right? And he's super fast, impresses his boss, but it's hard to really tell what the fuck they do. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing, right? On a day-to-day, right, nothing really happens in the office, right? We see people sitting around kind of thing and all of that. Who really knows? Who really knows what goes down in the office, right? But what we do see are these bonds, right? And this camaraderie grow. At first he doesn't have a computer. He's trying to find his way. People don't talk to him, but as time goes on, he it seems like he settles into things, and things develop from there. And there's fun stuff, right? Like bells and there's all of this kind of thing. And you're like, yeah, no, I enjoy that, right? This quirky weirdness that's interjected in the film. So that all plays out well. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is. there are random shit. Like there's something that happens at literally the very start of the film with a filing cabinet that like gets ignored. Right? The answer to that we get in an end credit scene. Because here's the thing: there's I think there's like three end of credit scenes. So you just watch it all the way through and stick around because you get these just little Easter eggs at the very end. Now they're not life changing, but they're a nice little asides, right? But yeah, there's this weird thing that isn't answered until then. So I think as you watch the film, you do kind of think, what is this? Like, is it sci-fi? Like, is it like what is it? Because some things that happen are very weird and out there, but have no real effect to the story. You know what I mean? But you kind of think, wait, are we gonna go into some zombie thing or go into some like slasher or like what is this gonna become? Like, what is it? But it doesn't. They're just it's just these weird quirks, as it were. Like there's stuff that makes no real sense. You know what I mean? Like no real sense. Like how Diego gets up into the ventilation system, right? All of that doesn't really make any sense, but it's fine because what leads from that, right? What leads from that is these conversations and this identification of what Diego wants, right? And that is at the heart of it. Like this whole situation between Diego, um, I'd say himself, right? June and herself, right? Because I think we have them connecting, but then we have them also finding themselves. It's like an exploration of self-worth, confidence, love, right? All of those things are mixed up in this very odd tale. But I will say, I ain't seen a tale like this before, right? You know what I mean? Yes, we have people working in the office, but it's the other aspect of it, right? Not seeing that. So that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it interesting. And, as I said, look, on paper, you might think, June and Diego? I don't know. But you did feel this connection between them in the film, right? I think the people moment worked. Right? Look, it's quirky, it's weird. There is like a lot of odd stuff, like with Vasquez and monitors and just all of that kind of stuff. Some of it you're just like really? I mean, like, can someone really think that? That's insane. But although, yeah, you be like, no, man, it doesn't hurt the film. You are kind of like, all right, let's go with it. Because I think you are kind of sucked in to this weird esoteric ride that these motherfuckers are on, you know? And you want to know, how's this gonna turn out? Right? What's gonna happen in the end? Yeah, and they do play around with the narrative in the effect of who's telling this story. You know, they do play with that a little, but yeah, you are watching this thing, and there's things that aren't always answered, right? They throw a new coworker in the mix with no real introduction, backstory, like we know nothing about her, you know, which is like although I will say I did very much enjoy the film. there isn't a lot of depth to a lot of these characters. You know what I mean? So there is that. But as I said, look, it doesn't necessarily hurt the film because the way it's all woven together and everything else that is going on, you know? So yeah, it's interesting. Right? It's interesting. I will say, you know, as I said, look, it's one of those things where you kind of be like, yeah, I haven't really seen this, you know, Office Space, right? You might put some similarities to like Office Space or maybe Employee of the Year, you know, which I think I prefer this to that, right? But it's still not those films, right? It still has this unique charm of its own, which is great because I think without that, this meh, you wouldn't really care. But it has this weird charm, this whole filing thing, these characters trying to find their way, you know, which does endear you. And it keeps you gripped. It keeps you to the end trying to find out what happens. So yeah, you know, obviously it was playing during Rain Dance, and I don't know. I don't have any other, you know, distribution details or anything, but hey, if you see it, I would say it's worth a look, right? It's definitely worth a look, and it will be interesting to see what these cats do next. You know, I'm intrigued, people. I'm intrigued. So, people, as I said, look, if you get a chance, check out All Sorts because, frankly, it takes all sorts to do this shit. All right. And they did it well. They did do it well.